Hey guys, so here's the finished product of Hangman. We're going to take our time. We're going to use the pseudocode as our base, and we'll plug in and show you what's going on. I know a lot of y'all seem to have struggled with this in the turning in phase. Didn't have too many people come to me before the deadline that had any questions or such, but you know, not that that's my business, but anyway. So this is, I'll zoom in. This is pretty much most of what we did in the teaser video. There's a few alterations I made. I took out some stuff, I put in some things, and we may not use it all to begin with. But as this is what the video included, this is what we'll talk about. And we'll build from this, kind of continuing on that development cycle where we plan it out, then we code it, then we fix it as we need to, troubleshoot it, if you will. Got the basic skeleton. Now I do need both my scanner and my random, because remember, I've got a word bank that I gave you guys, and I said it's okay to hard code to get it working, but for the final submission, I would like y'all to include something where it randomly picks a word. So if I go back over to Canvas, okay, got that, instructions. Okay, so here is my sample word bank, and I'll go ahead and copy that. We'll probably jump back and forth a few times. Load the word bank, okay. Java, I said I didn't like, so yeah, throw that there. Student Coyote Computer. There you go. A couple others. All right, select a word randomly. Okay, I've got my random generator here, so I need to have a chosen word. Okay, so what I do is I grab the word from word bank, and inside here, that's where I go next int, and that can be word bank dot length. So that will find the length of word bank. Find the length of word bank, set that as my random limit, randomly get an integer number between there, 0 and that value, pick a value, and that's now my chosen word. Okay? From there, set up my two arrays. Let's go ahead and keep them as strings. Several people have asked if they could do this in char. Absolutely. When this was originally handed out in March, we had not gotten to those clarifications yet, so I'm going to keep everything as a string in this one. Chars are very easy to interswap. There's a few quick alterations, but yes, if you did char, no loss of points. We'll call this the secret, and that's going to be chosen dot split, like that. Okay, so this split, where it's an empty string, that makes sure every single character gets its own elemental box. So right here, the C will get one, the O will get one, the M will get one, and so forth all the way down. Now, the one other thing I'm realizing is these are capital and lowercase. I'm going to leave it like that for now, but if you wanted to force everything to upper or to lower, that would work as well. It'd make your tests later on a little bit easier, so we can do that. But that's going to get my first word. So this is going to be the secret. That's what they're trying to figure out. Okay. The second array is the blanks. Okay. Okay. And we have to create a new array of strings. And then for the size, that's going to be the same size as secret. Okay. Then I use one of those advanced methods, fill with underscores. Okay. So this splits my word into every single letter. This fills in that word with, or it makes a duplicate of that array of the exact same size. And this fills that array with underscores so they can see where the letters are. This is also going to come in much more handy when we actually start replacing letters and they can see what's missing or not. There would need to be some consideration made if you try to make a hangman where there's a phrase, because obviously you wouldn't want the spaces to be an underscore. You'd want to have some kind of system set up where if it's a punctuation or a white space or a number or anything like that, that would either need to be given outright so that the player can understand them, or you need to make sure your phrase didn't have those things. But that's going to take care of my arrays. And then my guesses, let's just call them what they are. Guesses, and we'll give them 5. Wasn't too picky on the value. A lot of people did 7, 6, 5, 10, 20, whatever. Does not matter. So all of that right there is my pre-work, okay? The longest bit of code right there, the word bank, I gave y'all, okay? So that's everything you need to get started. We've got this little slide here for a title card. I'm going to opt out of it. You can, if you will. Several of y'all went and did some very cool ASCII art. They gave me fonts. They gave me pictures of the little man dangling. Only had one person actually embrace the Wheel of Fortune thing. It varies from years to year. That's fine. So let's go ahead and look at the game. All right, so we're not going to worry about the loops yet. I've got those down at the very bottom of the pseudocode. We'll worry about looping later. So print blanks, well, that's just going to be a normal value. Inside, we've got arrays.toString. Remember, if you do this otherwise, it's going to print the physical location of your array, and that's not worth anything for us. Asking for a letter. All right. Let. All right, so that's going to grab the word. And this is going to restrict it so that it only gets the first letter. That way, if they mess up and they accidentally type more than one, I don't fault them for it. I don't error their code. I just go ahead and say, okay, that's nice, I'll take that. Okay, that's just to keep everything consistent. All right, scan the answer to see if the letter is correct. All right, here's my first loop. Okay. Okay, this is the same loop I'm going to use most of the time. Now I'm reading secret because that's what has my values stored in it. All right. What do we do? Oh. Oh, not for yet. My bad. For loop. There we go. Now, want to check, okay? I want to see if I have a correct letter or not. Well, there's a lot of different things I need to do in either case. So it's best not to do them all at the same time. So what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to grab a Boolean. You've seen me do this several times with some of these check tests. The loop reads the array and makes a decision, but it doesn't do any of the after stuff. This way, we don't print something every time we check a letter. We had a big, long word, maybe a medical term or something. We would have lots of print statements if we did every single character. So we'll just call it correct. We'll start it with false. That's okay. And then if okay, I do equals ignore case because I didn't do anything up here to force capital or lowercase. That's an optional thing. Several people did it. Again, I'm just trying to be as simple as possible. And we want to compare that to let, short for letter. If it did, great. So what we do is we take that position at blanks and we set it equal to that value or that location in secret. Okay? This is just a quick little shortcut so that I don't have to double check upper or lowercase. By using my solution as my answer as I fill this in, that will make checking my values that much easier later on. Okay, that is all my first loop does. It reads through the array and decides whether or not, which I need to include that, and I change my Boolean value. I don't want to break here because I might use that letter more than once. So I want to stay in. I don't do anything else. I don't give any chance for correct to flip back to false because, again, I'm looking at the word as a whole. So was it ever correct? And that's what this determines. Okay. After the loop, this is where I get my test values. So if correct, okay. So I want to do those things. We replace the corresponding blanks. Okay. We confirm the duplicates. Okay, so the only thing we need to do down here is the correct message, okay? You can do that. Wording, of course, is your choice. Something like that. If no, then I do some other things. All right, so I decrease the number of guesses. Okay, and I also need to let them know that's not the best way to do things. So incorrect letter. Let's concatenate. There you go. So since I subtracted first, this will give me my new value and just say, oh, you've got this many guesses remaining. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. So that's it for testing for the proper letter. Okay. We did both of those. We did that there. Those are taken care of. We scanned. Okay. So now we're looking to see if the value was even solved. It's supposed to be S. Okay. Test if solved. Okay. I'll do the same kind of thing here. And yes, I do want to do this loop individually by itself after I've done the other loop. Well, secret's not blanks what I'm reading. All right, so if blanks bracket j dot equals then solved equals false. Okay, I don't have to worry about capitalization or punctuation because a character is just a character. It doesn't have an alternate version. I could go ahead and break out. Yeah, that's not going to hurt anything. I could let it go ahead and run away through, but again, I don't have any way for it to flip back optionally. That's pretty much all I need to do. And so, again, just like up here, I have if tests. So if solve, give them some kind of congratulations. And then what did we have the word chosen? Yep, chosen was our word. Okay, and that part's optional, but again, put that on the next line. There you go. There's my if. And my else. Error message. Oh no, actually there does not need to be an else because it's either solved or not. Down here, if guess equals 0, here's where our other exit vector is. Yeah, no. Okay. Firstly, you didn't guess the word. Okay, looks good. Okay, so there's my test to see if something is solved. This is my test to see if they've run out of guesses. And, okay. Artwork, I'm going to skip this time. Keep track of letters used. I'm going to skip. Loop the whole program. We are going to do that one. So, again, we do something right here. Haven't put an outer loop yet. Okay, so good. We got it completely to ourselves. Okay. Actually, let's end it there for a second. Closing bracket. And then to get started, all the way up here. Okay, so there is my outer loop. This is a poor man's infinite loop. Okay, so it has to exit out of one of these two values. Now, that's only going to work if it's solved. That's only going to work if true. So none of those have a break statement. This one could have. Okay, so if they've solved it or they've run out of guesses, then I can give them the option to continue, play again, or exit. Let's see. Enter. Play again. Okay, so I ask them a quick little thing inside an if test. This is only going to trigger if one of these two things has already activated. I ask them if they hit a -1, then boom, it breaks them out. If they do anything else, it goes right back to the top. And that's just the top of the flip. So that would need to go all the way up here. Okay, we can do that. Just add our break here. Take this stuff out. This over. Unreachable. Oh, that's right, because I never exit. Okay. So now we do need to add break statements. And this one. Get that one away. Then we've got that there. That goes all the way back up to main. And this is going to go up to here. Well, infinite loop, and that's going up to our play again. That's our main method. There we go. Okay, so loop it back to the prompt. That's this right here. This is our play again option. Okay, ASCII artwork, we're going to pass on that. Keep track of the letters missed, we're going to pass on that. That's my class file, which means that's unnecessary. This is my method. This is my play again. There we go. All right, so I had an extra curly bracket in there somewhere. Let's give it a shot. And I am going to cheat so that we can see some wins and some losses. Okay, E. Okay. Okay. Okay, congrats, we guessed the word heritage. Enter -1 to play, or any key to play again. Let's -1. Exits just fine. Let's try a fail. Incorrect, 0 guesses remaining. Unfortunately, didn't guess computer. -1 to play again, or let's just try playing again. Okay. Yep, that's my bad. Okay. So down here, if I want it to be any value, go right here. Dot. There you go. So -1 is how I break out of it. Okay. So we know the fail works. Liter. Fun typos. I'm sure y'all been laughing at that the whole video. Okay. 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 Didn't guess computer. Any key. Yay, there we go. So it resets. I could probably use a spacer at the bottom, but that's just getting picky, and that's pretty stuff. That's a good run of it. I'll scroll up at the very top and take you down through the process one last time, but I hope everybody's good. And here we go. So we got imports, okay, class method. This one, play again. That's the whole program, and inside I have my pre-work that we took care of. Okay, word bank, which goes off in the distance. Y'all can have your own words. This one collects my word. This sets up the 2 arrays that are going through it. This gives my guesses resets. Then I start the per Hangman loop. Okay. Prints the value so you can see what you solved as you cycle back around. Obviously, the first time it'll be blanks. You ask them for a letter, you grab the letter, and this is where you test it. So you make sure that you've got your information, you scan it to see if it's there. If it is, you update and you set the correct flag to true. Afterwards, where you deal with that flag. If it got correct, hey, good job, keep it up. If it's wrong, you tell me incorrect. At least here, you need to tell them how many guesses are remaining. You could tell them up here too, no harm, no foul, but it's not going to change anything. Down here, we've got our exit vector to see if it solves. This breaks us out. Down here is, excuse me. Oh yeah, this is to see if it's solved, to set that Boolean value. Here's where we deal with it. If it is, great. You congratulate them, you break out. If you run out of guesses, this is where you break as well. We could back this up. So the per Hangman, so this one doesn't have to be the cheap way. Guess is greater than 0. This up here is going to be the exact same thing. Where'd it go? Right here. But it's just a backup exit vector. One of the two, probably this one, will kill the loop. But if for some reason it skips out, if they type in something weird or it's not chosen, then the loop will see it itself. Outside that innermost loop, this is where I check right here to see if they want to play again. If they do, great, we do it. If not, we exit again, break them out of the bigger loop, and then we are done.